We're rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed.
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool, frosty brew while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger. With me, as always,
Jeremiah Johnson.
And back in the hot seat, one of our favorite people.
That's what I was going to say. Emily. Your favorite Emily.
That's true. I don't know any other Emilys, so you're also my least favorite.
Well, most people's least favorite, actually. I just happen to be your favorite.
Awesome. I like to go against the grain, if you haven't noticed already. So before we get too far, because we're going to talk too much, we go over to Jay.
For the beer.
Yes. Now
Today,
talk about the beer, please.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just going to cut everyone off this whole episode.
We were just trying to jump in, and you were like, more intro. I was like, oh, okay. Stop this.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready now.
Okay. We're talking.
What beer is it? I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. It's Bale Breaker Brewing's Top Cutter IPA, which is their flagship beer out of Yakima, Washington. It is 6.8%, I believe. Better double check.
It's Yakima.
Yakima.
Yes, 6.8%.
Yakima. That sounds more Asian.
It's named after the Top Cutter, which is the tractor that cuts the hops off the vine.
Which
Or
is
cuts-
on the
cuts
can.
Yes.
In blue.
Yeah.
It's not a deer.
It'd be the weirdest deer.
I meant like John Deere.
Oh.
Yeah. Blue would be New Holland.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. So anyway, anyway, it smells amazing.
It smells very Northwest.
Yes. Well, considering Yakima is where most of
Yakima.
the North.
It's Yakima. We're calling it Yakima.
Oh my God.
I think
So-
if you ask people.
Okay.
It does smell good.
But that's where all the Northwest hops, well, not all, but most of the Northwest hops are grown. So
It's from the Yakima.
Yakima Valley. Yep.
It does smell
Yakima.
like warm
Yakima.
summertime.
Did you
Oh
say
my
it smells
God.
like warm summertime?
Mm-hmm.
Does fresh cut grass.
Don't you think?
I don't know.
No?
I've never described warm
Bad
summertime
barbecues.
as this. Right.
Yeah.
I just smell the charred meat.
It's very pretty.
It is.
It's pretty nice and
And-
clear. It's pretty well, at least if I hold it up to the light, it's very yellow.
Yeah.
It's a little more yellow than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Good color.
It smells
Really
amazing.
good aroma.
I really want to drink it.
All right. Fine.
You don't want to drink
You
it?
I
ready?
really do.
Oh, yeah, we've been looking
I
at
didn't
it
drink
for
any
like
beer yet today.
20 minutes
That's
while
my
the
problem.
intern practiced.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks guys. Just trying to
Yep.
help.
Intern shout out and shout down.
So, to all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz,
Bottoms up.
Let's get nerd buzzed. Yay. Share the love.
So where the
I feel
intern
no love.
sees, yeah.
Because he's underage. We don't promote
Right.
underage
He
drinking
just gets to try
of
root
alcohol.
beers.
You can drink lots of other things.
yeah, like his balls.
He brought more
Alright.
balls today.
To
put-
drink?
Yeah, to put in his mouth.
Yeah, I brought a couple balls.
It's a habit he's forming. He thinks that's so funny, but I mean, come on. More than half of us here brought a couple balls.
That's what you think.
What makes you think it's not 100%?
I'm assuming
'Cause
after a party, we get a few more beers in you and you can tell us the
I don't
story.
know, my dress is
So, this episode, we're going to totally talk all about Futurama.
Were you supposed to talk about how the beer tasted first?
Yeah, we
Yes,
should.
we should.
But we're also going to talk about Futurama.
Yes.
And it was Emily's idea.
It
all
was
Emily's
my idea
fault.
when I was buzzed at home laying in bed
Yep.
watching Futurama.
She
and
thought, what is the best anime of all time? And she's like, clearly, it's Futurama.
You
The
shut
best
your
American
mouth,
animation
Marcus.
of all time.
The best anime ever. But yes, before that, how do we feel about our beers?
I like it. It's got a really strong malty flavor. Almost a little toasty with the notes there. Little sweet. Very clean though for the finish, and the hops. Oh my God, the hops hit you hard.
Yeah.
it doesn't taste like charred meat, so that's a bonus, even if it smells like it.
It doesn't smell like
It doesn't
charred
smell
meat.
like charred
You
meat.
said it smelled like bad barbecues. Warm summer, bad barbecues, charred meat.
Just it's a mental image that it brings to you. You know.
No, sorry. To this brewery, it doesn't
Bale
smell
Breaker.
like charred meat.
Okay, I'm glad they doesn't because probably not what they're going for.
Yeah, right. That'd be not a good compliment. I think it might start to taste a little alcoholic by the end.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
But
It's got numbers for it, though,
6.8%, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good, though. It is fresh, and it reminds me of summertime.
Warm summertime though, or like chilly like nights?
No,
by
like
the
warm
fireplace?
summertime.
Oh, okay.
Like chilly night,
Not
summer.
fireplace, but fire pit.
Yeah. I think that's more like fall, and I kind of think more like more wintry beers then. My classic is Winter Hook. I used to really
Bigger,
enjoy
heavier,
Winter Hook.
sweeter.
Yeah.
I like how it tastes, but I think it smelled better than it tasted.
I'm kind of in that boat too. Yeah.
I really like it.
I do. I mean,
It's not super abrasive. I like that
No.
about it. It seems to be fairly well balanced. It wasn't.
This is
We might have bad breath by the time we're done, but it's not. It's not really overpowering.
as long as you're close to other people who are going to have the same bad breath, is it really?
well,
Yeah.
Because the same beer. Yeah.
Yeah. Go team, go.
exactly.
Beer breath. Nobody likes it more.
So first up, we have our Nerd Play, Metal Gear Solid 5. It's amazing that we get it for free.
Yep.
Everybody play it. It's
I'm
one
enjoying
of my
it.
all-time favorite games ever. Yes.
I'm still
Play it,
only
play
I'm
it,
still
play it.
only getting B's on my missions because I'm taking forever.
Yeah, you
can't
just
do
have
it.
to go and play them
I
and
can't-
not care and just race through.
I can't do that.
Maybe you need to get good, Jeremiah.
No, if you take the time and play it slow and methodically and not get seen at all and everything, you can't get the S rating. It's just impossible.
Well, it's possible. If you play it slow, it's not. But if you could probably still do everything and get an S rating, that should be like an SS rating.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
It's
there
not,
are,
though.
there are double S ratings?
it should be.
Well,
It's
there,
like
there,
Super
there are
Saiyan,
for, there are
right?
for personnel.
I mean, when I see SS, I don't think Super Saiyan. That's not my first immediate thought.
Are you gonna share your first immediate thought, or is you
I'm
got too many
good.
balls in your
It's
mouth?
coming from Russia. No,
So before we talk about Futurama, thank you everybody that's subscribed. It really means a big deal to us, and I sleep better at night. Every time somebody does. If you don't, then I don't sleep good. I'm super cranky and I drink more beer.
Did
They
you
don't
get
let me
more
sleep.
after you did trivia?
Yeah, we got a few more after trivia.
Awesome.
A few more people could still subscribe. Talking to you, people that were at trivia.
Nice.
And while we were at trivia, coincidentally, nice segue, we gave away T-shirts. If you'd like to get a T-shirt, you can go to patreon.com/nerdbuzzed, and for $35 or more, I'd like to stress or more, you can get yourself a T-shirt plus a magnet and some stickers. And we were discussing before the show, we were probably going to put in some sort of a price range in there that's a little easier for people to pay for.
Speaking of free stuff, I had an idea. You should totally make Nerdbuzzed coasters to put here on this table because I feel bad leaving this wet crap everywhere.
All right, I expect you to bring Nerdbuzz coasters
I
next time
said
you show up.
you should make them
Oh,
and offer them as
okay.
a,
I thought
like
you were
a-
going to make them for us.
I don't have any idea how to make coasters.
I don't have any idea either. We'll watch some YouTube videos.
We'll get on Pinterest.
Yeah. You can tell us the ball story, and we'll watch YouTube videos. It's going to be
after-
great.
after
It's-
part,
yeah. Also, go to nerdbuzz.com where you can listen to any episode of Nerdbuzz or watch them now 100% free as opposed to.
And the other percentage are free.
And also on the website, there's a full beer list. So if you'd like to know what our favorite beers are, go check that out. And recently added Jack's favorite root beer list.
Yeah.
And probably your little nephew's favorite root beer. Did you put that?
I
up there?
I didn't put that.
I haven't added a separate list for his other than
They're just in there?
they're under the episodes that they're on.
Jack, what is your favorite root beer?
Okay.
haven't-
We'll have to add that like a sub list.
So I have to make it. I haven't decided how we're
I
going to
think,
put
Well,
that.
I think
we'll
it was
see
the
how he
first one I
performs.
had. I think that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear what the name of it is.
Oh, on the spot, I like
remember.
it.
Well, I don't know if it's his
Under
favorite.
pressure. Come on,
Oh,
Jack.
Wait, I have the messages. You guys keep talking, and I'll just randomly interrupt like 20 minutes later.
He's gonna do that
When the
anyway.
whole- when the
In
moment's
45
yeah,
minutes.
locked.
He's
Oh,
gonna
Thomas
do that-
Kemper's.
He's gonna do that anyway. So let's talk about Futurama,
Yay.
right?
Yeah.
Life in the Year 3000.
Yes.
I personally, for me, it's one of my all-time favorite shows. It really, really is. I was super stoked that you recommended it. I quite often when we try to think of animes or cartoons or whatever show we're gonna watch, I always immediately try to go for something I haven't seen before. But recently, we've kind of done some that we've already seen once, and it was super fun to revisit them. And I think Futurama specifically, because it's been probably for me a couple years since I've just actually sat down and like put in the DVDs and watched like seasons back to back like that. I've caught episodes here and there, but not binge watched it.
Oh.
Yeah. My watching's still mostly spotty throughout, but I watched all of season 10, all of season 1, and most of season 2. So
Yeah, I
And then
found
there's
it.
a bunch
Season
Dads
10
and
is a
Soda
myth.
Boy.
What is it?
Dads and Soda Boy. Told you I'd just randomly interrupt.
Yeah.
Keep going, you guys.
Friends is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Or whatever the last season is.
There's only season 7. I don't know what the hell's going on with Netflix. Anybody that's watching it on Netflix, there's no season. What did they start at?
7.
7 there.
Sure.
They got rid of the first seasons, and then
Or
they
7
have
or
4
whatever it is.
seasons on there.
Whatever the last season is.
Which
But
is,
they're not even the right order. Like I
Yeah.
checked with my discs to see to try to figure out what the hell they're doing on Netflix, and they don't make sense at all. I don't understand what those are.
Right, I checked versus IMDb. Yeah, too. It's all.
It's
screwy.
all like
and they'll probably all be
mismatched on
gone
there.
soon. Because why would they get? It makes no sense to me that Netflix get rid of some seasons. And
Well, I
keep
think
other
those
seasons.
are
whatever-
the later seasons, which I think is the Comedy Central ones.
Right.
Whatever the last season was on Netflix is the one that I watched.
The final, yeah.
Yeah, the final one, and that's the happy ending. Everybody gets their happy ending.
Theoretically, we don't actually
Yeah.
know
Well,
because it's.
Yeah.
Well, and again, they're all jumbled. It does start with the first episode from season 6. Excuse me. Is that first one from 7. So those are the same first episodes, but then after that, it like immediately starts just getting all jarbled, and I have no idea where Netflix came up with their listing.
So they did a Firefly thing for when the way Firefly aired.
I guess. Yeah. Well, and that was the note I actually had that I thought was interesting to just make a point of is that when they aired on TV, they were not aired in the same order that you get on the Blu-rays or DVDs.
Oh.
Those are the intended original order that they wanted the show to air in, but that's not how it happened on TV.
Okay, because that's what happened to Firefly. I want to say episode 6 was the very first episode that aired on Firefly.
Oh, weird. That's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Because the
I think
first
a
one is
couple of
totally
shows
like a
have
first
done
one.
that, but
Yeah.
right, because then you look back and like you've watched and there's like a show that's totally out of the timeline, like one
Yeah.
episode. It's really I can't remember what show it was, but I remember it throwing me off because it made no sense. But
Yeah.
kind of weird. I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That was in my Discovery researching. Do you want to hear anything else from my Discovery researching
Of
before we
course.
dive in too much?
We do.
I did do all this work researching it.
It's like 2 pages.
like it to not go in vain. So clearly it's made by Matt Groening. We're calling him Groening because
Yes.
that's how he prefers it.
Yep.
I don't know if it's called a preference, if that's just how it's pronounced.
Yes.
I like to call things the way I want to call them, but
Yeah, we've noticed.
Yeah,
Yakima or whatever it is.
Yakima. I bet Matt Groening is from the Yakima Valley. So
Eugene is based off of Oregon. Or not Eugene, Springfield, sorry.
well,
This
there you
beer
go.
is
Right?
good,
See,
guys.
yeah,
It is.
it's gonna get good.
I had
It's
two
gonna get
glasses for
gooder.
a second before I came here because I was so nervous. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. It's working, clearly. So Matt Groening's first thing that he was known for was a comic called Life in Hell, and it was in 1978. He got put in newspapers, was carried by 250 weekly newspapers. I thought that was
Wow.
interesting. That is actually what inspired him to be on the Tracy Ullman Show in 1987, which is where we first saw The Simpsons, like then the shorts on there.
Was it 87 or 89?
87. That's the first time we see The Simpsons on the Tracy Ullman Show. The
Oh.
Simpsons didn't actually become its own show until 1989. And I thought it was pretty interesting that Matt Groening went in and he drew all the characters. If you watch the really early on Simpsons stuff, the Simpsons are really rough looking, right?
they're
And
Yeah.
the
so
Tracy
awful.
Ullman
Really
Show,
so rough.
they're super rough. Like they don't even look as good as the first Simpsons episodes. And he said when he did that, he was initially intending those to be like sketches and like the artists will clean them up. And then he went to watch the show and it's just his direct drawings that were on there. So that's
Oh,
like
wow.
all original his stuff. And the reason why they originally wanted him to do Life in Hell as his skit on the Tracy Ullman Show, but he didn't want to lose his rights to it or have that to get all
Oh,
skewed.
gotcha. Yeah.
So he created The Simpsons instead. So that's where they came from. And then The Simpsons first aired 1989 on Fox, still on Fox, and they're over 600 episodes. We're gonna call it that. I believe it's 620.
it totally covers it. It's
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
600.
Over
It
600.
could be,
Depending on when you
2200.
watch this,
It could
right?
be
It could vary.
699.
Yeah, it's over 600. And then in 1999, he made Futurama with another fellow named David X. Cohan, which is I also thought was hilarious. That is not his real name. His real name is David Samuel
Well,
Cohan.
do you know why?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
You want to tell us? Go for it.
I was saying because when he tried to enter into like the Writers Guild or whatever,
Yeah.
there's already a David S. Cohen, so he went with the X because it sounded more spacey in the future.
Yeah, more
It's
spacey and
ridiculous.
sciencey. Yeah,
It's
which
literally
I love that that's his mentality though, right? It's like great.
He
It's
was
gonna
all
be such
about
a
the
good
show, I guess.
Yeah. And he was let's see, his earliest works. He in 1992 he did wrote 2 episodes of Beavis and Butthead. In 1993 in The Simpsons, he wrote or co-wrote 13 episodes. And then in 99, he wrote or co-wrote up to 7 episodes of Futurama.
Nice.
And he's the executive producer, the head writer, and the voice director of Futurama.
Okay.
And he also did those things with the video game. So I really think that's why the video game is as Futurama as it is. It's not the best video game in the world compared to other video games, but if you like Futurama, it's completely like a movie or an episode that's worth playing through to get to
I think
play.
that was one of the ones that was on the list of show's turn game that was actually rated better.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this
I
like the
enjoyed
recent
it.
thing that they've been releasing? Because they've been releasing something new to do with Futurama.
I haven't heard about something
No,
new.
that's like a dumb iPhone game. It looks like one of those like management or maybe base building ones. I don't know. I just saw it and it looks dumb. But this one came out on PS2 and it's
Yeah, it is
I
like
don't
an
know what else
actual
it's like.
old school
I didn't have
full-fledged
PlayStation,
game.
so okay.
All right.
Didn't
Well,
have any of that
now we
stuff.
got something else to talk
There we
about and yell at you
Yeah.
about later.
Ruin everything.
I did think in the reading about Futurama, it was really funny, and I think it actually explains a lot about the show. To hear Matt Groening saying it was the worst proposal he's ever done to a network. He hated doing it, and when they went in, they had already had like characters established, like several episodes, like a backstory, like he had the whole lore of what Futurama was going to be and tried to sell that to these people. And I just imagine him, our classic thing is, are you a nerd? And you know when you try to explain something to somebody and their eyes glaze over because they don't care even half as much as you do, that you're a nerd about that thing, right? I think Matt Groening and David S. Cohen, X, we'll call him X, they were those nerds in that room, right?
yeah.
They were talking about this thing that they've just like already fantasized about and had this awesome time where they've got all these seasons done and trying to pitch it to a TV network. And he said it was the worst experience he's ever had,
Aw.
but it was just like over embellished, which I love. And I think that I'm not surprised at all if you know Futurama and how much forethought there was in that show.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. I think that's a good example of it already right
Like
there.
what was it? Season 4 flashbacks with Nibbler.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
already
and that's all the way not
established.
till season 4, yeah.
Yeah.
And then so when Futurama first aired in 1999 was its first episode on Fox. They did seasons 1 through 4. It was canceled in 2003 due to low ratings. It was a total of 72 episodes. And I also had heard that part of the issue was that it kept getting bumped because of like football games and stuff on Sunday, and so they kept saying that was part of the reason why, and it kept messing up the order.
That was
of how
another
things were
thing that
getting
was problem
aired.
with Fox's other stuff, like Firefly.
Yeah, I could totally
Is
see if
they
it's a
kept
Sunday
bumping
thing.
it for sports and kept stopping it for sports, and sports kept getting in the way. And
Yeah,
Sports.
right.
Sportsing.
So they
It's
got
not Blurns
canceled.
Ball, who cares?
Yeah, right. Totally
Exactly.
nice reference. But then Comedy Central picked up the rights for $10 million in 2002 to re-air those first 4 seasons from 2003 to 2007, and I believe at the time that was one of the most money spent to re-air a show, to like
really?
attain the rights to do that. Like it was a big deal when they did that. And so because of that, and because of the demand for the DVDs when they released the seasons on DVD, it came back for season 5 in 2008, which was 4 movies that got stretched into 16 episodes. So that is your season 5.
okay,
Season 5 is the movies. It was originally intended to end there and not do any more. But Comedy Central loved it, and they ran with it, and they made seasons 6 through 7. That's all there is. I don't know where the hell Netflix comes up with 10 seasons. That doesn't exist. And actually, Matt Groening has said, was quoted saying that he really, really preferred working with Comedy Central and that it wasn't a headache at all, and that apparently there was some big headaches with Fox.
It's like that scene where I think it's the first movie, and it shows like the corporation that was running the show, and it says box or whatever.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it flashes, and they're all just like smashing their heads. They're all really dumb. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
There's no subtlety in their mockery of Fox.
No. Well, and I guess when Matt Groening originally signed up with Fox to do The Simpsons, there was this clause in his contract that he has complete artistic control over the show. So they can't come in and tell him you have to take this out or censor this or whatever,
Some
right?
of the Simpsons,
Yeah, 'cause
they
they
mock
did a
Fox
lot of
also,
that.
correct?
Yeah.
And they're still on there, so.
And so when he did Futurama, he demanded that clause was in there again, and they really, really fought him on it, and they did not want to do it, and they were like,
Imagine
"That's
that.
not how contracts work anymore. Like, this is so old school; it'll never happen." So they finally caved in and did it. And so I wonder if because of the ratings or whatever, because of football games, but how much of it is them butting heads, right? Like,
Oh,
we
it
just
had to be.
don't want to deal with you, and so I could see a lot of that causing the demise of it. But he said he loved working with Comedy Central.
Well, I remember hearing about that when they announced that the show was even coming out, that he was getting full control of it, because there was a lot of talk about how he wasn't involved with The Simpsons anymore and didn't want to be, and all this other stuff, and button heads, and didn't have creative control of that. So I remember that was something that was brought up in reading about when they announced Futurama was coming out.
Yeah.
So
And apparently he fought for it and he got it. They finally caved and gave him creative control.
It's not like he doesn't have a really successful show already. Like he has, with The Simpsons, he has some power over it. So.
Yeah. Well, I actually have more respect for Matt Groening after reading about him and researching Futurama and all that, and how diehard he was with it and all. And he researched all sorts of different, went into science fiction and science and spent years learning what he could and trying to bone up on the show. And just how committed he was to his own creations, I thought was super cool. So I kind of have a little bit more respect for him now. I always assumed, because I like The Simpsons, but again, there's a billion episodes of it, and they seem like they're always selling out on different things, right? But that's kind of the point of The Simpsons. So I've never been this diehard fan, but I totally have a little bit more of a new appreciation for him now. It's cool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my notes on the show. There's some
Nice.
specifics in there. If we need, we can dive back into them, but I don't want to talk forever about it. So I guess the basic question, I'm going to go to one of you guys who wants to be put on the spot. Why is Futurama so good? Why do we love it?
Oh, it's written so well. There's so much comedic relief in there that's it's like going back and watch season 1 again. There's so many things I didn't even notice. And I didn't realize how fast they brought all the characters in. Like, I didn't think Nibbler was until almost season 2. No, it was right away they got
Yeah.
Nibbler. Stuff like that. It was moving way faster than I thought it did.
It's
Maybe that's just,
self-aware of its development.
yeah.
It knew where it was going from the beginning.
Well, and how much
Yeah.
of that, again, is them already having all that planned? Right?
Oh,
Like
totally.
they want to get.
They
I
had
already
to.
have all these characters in the back of my brain. I want to bring them in episode 1. Can we do that? Like they're wanting to get that ball rolling.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Zoidberg, I hated him initially. Dude, the second time watching it, Zoidberg's gotta be one of my favorite characters.
Whoa.
I know there's one episode that always, I don't know why I remember. It's when they're, I think it's one where they go to Atlantic City and they're fishing on top of the Planet Express, and Zoidberg just puts his head on top of the professor's and his little tentacles.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things. The most bizarre thing to remember.
Just massaging his head.
Remember, I was it's
Yeah.
really creepy. My friend Whitney, her cat is named Zoidberg.
Nice.
Zoidberg, so. Do you have more to say? We kind
Not
of
really. Yeah, you good.
I really love that self-deprecating. You get a lot of the guest stars who are on there just to make fun of themselves.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
would come back, like George Takei is in there 4 times or something.
Yeah.
And it's just making fun of itself and its network, and it's just having a good time while being intelligent and social commentary. I was just watching the episode today where they it was a senator from the past that came forward, and they were talking about whatever. And this was from season 5, 6, I don't know. But they're talking about, I think it was right before Obama's election.
Yeah.
So, and that can't be right.
No.
No,
It's
it
earlier
can't
than
be.
that. It's
Yeah.
got to be.
Anywho, the Nixon,
Clinton?
who's trying to be reelected for president of the world.
Yeah.
And he wants
Which
to
happens-
build a wall to keep out the space aliens. So I'm whoa, that's really applicable to just
Yeah.
current days. So it's
And then how they were questioning the guy's birth certificate, the senators.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's they said he came
It's a
from
double
Kenya.
Yeah.
So that's what made me think. But so yeah, it's just very, and that's still all the illegal aliens and actual aliens from outer space aliens.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were the cheap manual labor, and they didn't have that anymore. So it's just a very social commentary without being, horrible. Like I can still watch it over and over again. So
I would say that's one thing I really enjoyed when you make that transition from. I didn't watch the movies again. I was not a big fan of the movies, but I did watch all of season 4 and seasons 6. I think I watched all of season 6. So I didn't quite get season 7 in. But that transition from season 4 to season 6, the topics are very like time specific as far as like what is help me out here, like politically going on or whatever the social topic is, are very specific to the years that those shows came out. But as far as the like flow of the show and the way the characters play off each other, it's like seamless. Like you wouldn't even notice that there's this big gap in it other than like the topical issues that are going on.
Right.
Like the characters aren't different, that many years later, which I really appreciated that. It just kind of kept that same feel really rolling right along. I thought it was really good. I think that season 1, after I was watching them again, because I definitely have my favorites that I've seen so many times.
What's
just
your
like
favorites?
a ridiculous amount of times. One of my all-time favorites is Godfellas. I think Godfellas is one of the most like offensive but such great messages that are being delivered in it, and the theme of it all is really good. I enjoy that one. It's the one where Bender gets the little colony of people that start to live on him. He's like floating
where he
endlessly
was
in
God,
space.
yes.
Yeah, where he
And
plays
just-
God.
He talked to God.
Yeah, and he ends up, whatever the thing is, the spatial anomaly that
Right.
declares itself as God, right? But I love all the messages and symbolism that goes on in that show, or in that one. The Roswell That Ends Well, which I believe is the episode maybe right before it, where Fry discovers he's his own grandpa.
Right.
Like that's a really good one.
I remember that one. It's hilarious.
I love the one with the.
They reference that like later
Yeah.
seasons. They come
Like
back
that's
to
why
it.
Nibbler. That's why the brains can't attack him, because he's the product of his own incest, and his brain is retarded, so the brains can't get to his brain. Like that's why that worked out.
I think that's one of my favorite episodes is I think the late Philip J. Fry, where they go in time, forward in time like 1 minute or whatever, and the professor like goes rah, and like go forward like 10,000 years or whatever, right? Right. And no, not the finale. You're thinking of the finale.
The Globetrotters. Is that the one you're thinking of?
No, it's the one where they were supposed to go 1 minute in time. It was Leela's birthday. And instead the professor is, a fool, and instead goes forward 10,000 or whatever. So everyone they know is dead, right? So there's no backwards time machine. So they keep going forwards. and that's what in that one the professor said something about how they would take care of their secondary ones, so you can't do anything disgusting like sleep with your own grandma. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
And it totally starts referencing itself. I think the first time I really notice it is in the first Christmas episode, which I believe is season 2.
Do you mean Xmas?
Yeah, Xmas, right? And that's what it comes up, because Fry he calls it Christmas, and they're like, "What is this Christmas?" And he's like, Christmas, Xmas, and they're like, "Oh, you mean Xmas? That must be your antique dialect, like when you say ask instead of axe." Yeah. And from then on, nobody ever says ask; it's always axe in that show. I thought that was great. So it's like it's staying within the boundaries of its own rules, which was really awesome. The celebrity one that I forgot to mention, that when you mentioned the celebrities, was the Lucy Liu episode. Mm-hmm. I love how she's Lucy Liu, but she's so robotic. Like when she's dying, she's like, "I will always love you, Philip J. Fry."
They're just not afraid. Like when they get people on there, they'll just make fun of themselves, and they aren't like in there for
Yeah. No, it's great.
That's awesome.
And what is the deal with in those like first 3 seasons? Fry is constantly getting laid, like always.
It seems like he never really has a hard time ever.
I've wondered, like, I don't get that either. He's
I don't know what my problem is.
He's clearly
Philip
the buffoon.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's like clearly the buffoon on the show, but especially in those first 3 seasons, he seems to, like every other episode, he finds a way to get laid by somebody.
To be fair,
He's
she was a
always in high
robot
school.
that he created specifically, right? Wasn't that?
Yes, they
Yeah,
stole
so
her.
I
That
mean-
one's all about stealing people's identity on the internet.
Right, so I mean, he gets weird things like that.
Philip J. Fry. It's my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
I did think, as I was watching it though, really season 1 is pretty rough. I think it's kind of hard to sit through.
I went back through this.
Bender is awful.
In season
The
1?
voice.
In
At least a
season
couple
1
episodes,
or
it
just
took him a
like in
while to
general?
settle in.
Yeah, or did they change actors, or was it the same guy the whole time?
I think
I
he
think
just
it is.
settled into his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Same with like The Simpsons.
So I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
season 1 being hard to watch, but I went back and watched season 1 this last time, and I think it's a solid season. It's hilarious.
It is pretty good. It's the only one that, as I was rewatching, that I thought this is a little bit tough to sit through. And even my wife, Kristen, has never been a fan of Futurama, and she's always told me, I don't like Futurama, I don't want to watch that with you. And so I was like, no, let's watch it and see what happens. And we both kind of had that mentality until you get to like the last third of season 1, and then it just like the humor starts to click, and from then on out it's predictable to be that good. But she said originally she only watched the first few episodes and never liked it, and then now she thinks it's great, and we're gonna finish out all 7 seasons.
Well, she converted her. She likes beer that tastes like beer. She likes Futurama.
Right? Yeah.
I think you brought her up because she told.
I don't think I converted it. I think she's just tolerating me more and more and more.
It's a long process, guys out there.
Yeah. I think it's something you guys have all learned to do.
I like that you brought up Kristen though, because we were talking about doing this, and she said that you made her watch the episode with Seymour.
With Seymour.
His dog.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I won't watch that one. She's like, I just ended up crying. Not that it's hard to make Kristen cry, but she's just started like bawling. She said, yeah, I don't watch that one either. That one comes up, I just skip over that shit. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just so depressing.
Well, there were a lot of episodes as I went to watch through that when I got these box sets and I was binge watching them, I would skip over and I would just watch my favorites, right? And so when I came there, I was like, no, I'm gonna watch them all. I'm not gonna skip them. And I'm so glad I did, because so many of them are also really good. And I don't know if it's because they were like fresher and newer, because I haven't ruined them for myself, but really everything from like the last third of season 1 to season 6 has been amazing. I really think they've all been really relevant and really good to the series and what was going on during the time.
You know which one's relevant?
Which one?
The one where everybody's filming everybody stealing their lunch.
Filming stealing their lunch.
Where like Hermes manwich gets put inside.
Yes.
It's always a manwich. My manwich.
Definitely. And then Leela hit somebody's kidney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Just because.
Is that relevant to you in the workplace?
Yes, so much. Oh my god. Well, because somebody had just eaten, like, I had put 3 cheese sticks in the fridge for my lunch for the next 3 days. And anyway, they
How do people do that? I don't understand.
somebody had eaten them and one of my cookies.
Only one though, because he knew the exact number.
Yes.
There was 3, one for each day.
No, there's 3 cheese sticks and 2 cookies.
Right.
Well,
so it's not like a difficult
how do you do the
number,
math on
Marcus.
that?
I didn't have to get to my other hand or my toes.
Was
so
it
we're
you,
doing
Jack?
good.
Is that why you're getting close to your
I have a
microphone?
suggestion. Poison them.
Poison
So the
them.
next time.
So interesting story. We'll tell you that later.
Yeah, poison them with something that won't actually kill people.
No.
So then whoever's
So-
sick, you'll be like, you ate my food, and then you just kill them.
No, I had a roommate
Look at
that
that head, Marcus.
that was eating
Perfect.
Ladies.
wouldn't replace the milk. He drank all the milk
Ladies.
every
For
day.
all
I'd
the
buy a
ladies that
gallon
watch
of milk.
this show.
Yeah.
And like the next day, there wouldn't be enough for a bowl of cereal. And he also
Monster.
wouldn't replace a roll of toilet paper. I didn't even ask him to buy it. I just replaced the damn roll. Because you know what happens if there's an emergency? You run in and sit down, and then all of a sudden you look over, oh shit. Yeah,
Literally.
Anyway,
Too late.
Exactly.
You're already-
There's
So-
nothing worse than waddling around the bathroom looking
I
at toilet
freaking-
paper with your pants at your ankles.
Took fiberglass insulation
Nothing.
and a knife. And ran a knife over fiberglass insulation,
Especially when you
beat that into
really
about
need
6 feet of the friggin' toilet paper, rolled it all up nice, then put
no.
X-Lax in the milk.
Oh my god.
Didn't solve the problem, but I felt way better about it.
So lesson learned: don't come between Jay and his toilet paper.
And milk.
Well,
And milk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll die.
literally
I
don't.
don't want to
that.
be between anybody and their toilet paper.
to be fair, there was months of arguing between that.
But yeah, anywho, yes, I think Futurama has a good hand on like what affects everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the first things I put on my list as I was watching it was it's so like intellectually stupid, which is one of my favorite things I love about it. Like there's so many clever and intelligent things that go on, but they're done in the stupidest
Oh, yeah.
way
When you
possible.
have a protagonist like Fry,
Right? Clearly.
like, even the professor, who is obviously a genius, right, is
With his finger
hugely
longer.
moronic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good news.
What?
Right.
that's my quote for the professor. What? Good news, everybody.
I like your professor.
It's always got
voice.
good news. One of the other things I really love about the show is how
Oh, heavens, no.
yeah, how it always ends with 30th Century Fox. That always cracked me up.
Oh, yeah.
Which
watching
he bought the rights to that.
Just so he can retain
Fox
doing
thought
that.
it was like I read this. Fox thought it was really stupid and wouldn't do it. So he personally bought the rights to it, and then they thought it was hilarious, like great and hilarious. And...
Man, see, so grading is just like clicking up the ladder for me, man. He really is. I love that he did that. It's like, no, it's my joke. God damn it, and I'm gonna own it. It's gonna be in every show because I have creative control.
Yeah, they have to
Fought
double
for
check.
that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he personally got it, and then Fox dug it after that. But yeah,
That's pretty cool. I enjoy hearing that. Let's see, what else did I have here? Some of my all-time favorite episodes are the Anthology of Interests.
Not sure
That's
that
the
one.
Thinglonger. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Where it's all about the what if
Giant
if I
issue.
made
Yeah.
the Thinglonger.
That's how it ends. I love that that's how it ends, right? And I love it when the Leela part where it's like, what would it if I was a little more what is it like not ambitious but impulsive.
Yeah.
a teensy bit.
She like changes. She has a stripe on her boot. Is how it all
Yeah.
starts. That's the level of her impulsiveness, and then everybody's dead at the end of it. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. I already mentioned Fry getting laid. Who's your favorite character from the show?
Morbo.
Morbo. I really like Morbo too.
He's awesome. And like I was just watching an episode today, and he had like his tiny little glasses on, like to read, like because he was doing the election. I just thought it's hilarious. I just love him.
I like the one where it just keeps getting hotter and hotter, and like the polar ice caps melted, and his head breathes. I like that one too. Just like he just sits there and he's just pissed and angry. Everything he yells. He's like the black guy from Family Guy, the reporter. Like every time he yells, is that what he is? Like the angry black guy.
I'm not a huge fan of Family Guy, so
Yeah, I know.
I think Morbo reminds me of him because
That's
he's always
funny.
yelling and wants to eat people and their kittens and whatever, right?
who doesn't? I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
right.
Until next week.
He's totally one of my favorite people. My all-time favorite is totally Brannigan. Brannigan is
I
my
watched it
absolute
again.
favorite.
And every time I watch him, I'm like, God, how can Marcus love this guy so much?
He's
so
so
funny.
ridiculous.
Kip is so much better.
No,
than
he's
That
Brannigan.
skirt, I don't know. Kip is such like
just
a
sad.
puss.
I know. That's what's
that's
it's
my-
hilarious.
My Brannigan impression is any word that starts with an S.
All right, let's hear it.
Sensual.
Yo, that's not creepy
He says the
enough.
word
job.
sensual so often in that
Oh,
show.
it's
It's
disgusting.
awesome.
Right.
Seductive.
So wrong.
Sexy. Brannigan's awesome.
I hate Brannigan. Oh
So
my God.
good.
He's
He's
so
so full
bad.
of himself. And put some goddamn pants on.
Yeah, like you.
Like you, is that what you're just saying?
That's during the after party. We'll talk about it.
And put some pants
It's also
on.
a story about my balls.
Nice. If you're in that costume, it will really be. You dress like him. You heard that Brannigan was supposed to be voiced by Phil Hartman.
Really?
Yeah, and then Phil Hartman was murdered by his wife in his bed. And so I'm pretty sure, was it Billy West?
Fitting for Brannigan. Anyway,
Yeah, Billy West, I'm pretty sure, ended up doing
I believe
Brannigan.
so, yeah.
And it was an impersonation of Phil Hartman, was what he did to be Brannigan.
Huh. He does a lot of voices.
He does, yes.
Yeah. Does Fry, Zoidberg, the Professor, and Brannigan. And then like lots of like
I would say
little
I'm sure
cameo
there's more
people
too,
that
yeah.
come in here and there.
Yeah, Katie Seagal, I think, is the only one that doesn't do multiple. So, yeah. Except for, I mean, you look at it and it's like Leela and like Robot Leela. It's like, come on, of course she voiced Leela and Robot Leela. But yeah, she's
Yeah.
the only one that voiced Leela and no other additional.
I have one more word that I really enjoy
Just
hearing
one word,
Brannigan
okay.
say. Sexlexia.
Did you list your favorite words of
Yes,
Brannigan?
he kept talking, and they all start with S. And they're so good. But that was my
Sexlexia.
favorite one. It's like he couldn't remember something. He's like, must be Sexlexia.
okay.
Of course it is, Brannigan. Of course it is. Just always getting laid. And then underneath all that, it says Morbo. Mine says Mordo because apparently auto text wouldn't put a B in there. But Morbo is great. I did.
He's
put that
awesome.
there.
He's
He's
my
totally
favorite.
great.
you even spelled great right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
I occasionally spell
Mordo,
something
the,
right.
the cheese grater.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how it got spelled.
No, just
Not
more
even-
dough with a D instead of a B.
Oh, I thought you said you misspelled great.
No.
You spelled great.
No, he was
correctly.
congratulating me on
Oh,
spelling
okay.
great.
I gotcha.
It's something that I go onto Facebook and correct all the time.
It's a high
And he
achievement
still
for
misses a lot
Marcus.
because I misspell everything.
What was that, Jack,
It's
over
my
there?
biggest flaw.
Oh, it's a very high achievement for Marcus.
To spell great
We're really proud of
correctly,
you.
it's a great achievement.
Wah, 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 wah.
He gets it.
What about the Fry? Oh wait, your guys' favorite character. You name your favorite
Yeah,
character.
what's your favorite? He said Kip. He loves Kip.
I gotta
Yeah.
say, going back
Oh my
again.
god, don't
is-
say Kip.
I'm gonna have to go with Zoidberg. I really like Zoidberg this time around.
He's pretty good. I also
used
really
to hate him
enjoyed
so
it.
much, but I really appreciate his character so much more now.
Yeah,
Jack, who's your favorite?
intern.
I don't even know. I have to think about this.
Oh my
You're on
god.
the spot.
You can
I think
intersect.
Fry. I think Fry he's so versatile, right? Like he just
Instead of versatile, I like
Does
it.
he speak
whatever.
to you over there in the corner?
yeah, like when I think Futurama, I mean obviously Fry is like basically the main character, but like it's just so like his idiocracy never gets old.
Yeah.
It's always funny.
Well, and he's probably considered the most relatable because he's the guy that's from our time period.
Yeah,
He's being
yeah,
dumped
exactly.
in the future, right?
And it makes it funny to see like a fish out of water situation.
yeah.
But I don't know. Fry, I just love Fry so much.
I love how
But
stupid
how
he
much
is.
do you want to bet that he was just as much out of the water in 1999?
He's a very
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot. It's good because no matter where he is, he never like fits really, but he does.
I do like the first episode. Happy New Year as he's stealing his bike. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think Fry's very sincere. Like, and that's I was thinking earlier. Like, all the characters
He's
are
too
pretty
dumb to
much
lie.
true to what they are. Nobody apologizes
No.
for being the weirdest things. And then Fry is very, moronic, but very sincere. He never means to do anything bad. He just does because he's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no,
well, and
he's really nice.
I think again
tries.
that's what made that transition almost seamless, really, when it went from Fox to Comedy Central. I'm sure it was a lot of that creative control that he had, but the characters are so what they are when you first meet them all the way through. They get a little bit refined as it goes, but they never alienate their characters.
No.
Yeah.
Well, except for when Leela is no longer an alien.
Yeah, that's true, right? But even in that scene, so speaking of things that come up that you see
De-alienates.
previously, yeah,
Yeah, de-aliens.
her parents are like seen in several scenes before that episode comes up, like with the mutants, right, and the sewers. The one I think I mentioned when we were talking about it, that's my all-time favorite, is in season 4. I believe I made a note of what specific episode it was. I have it here somewhere. I can't remember.
Doesn't sound like you did, Marcus.
I don't. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't write it down here.
Why don't you tell me about
Oh yeah. So in episode 1, you discover that Nibbler is the one that pushes him into the freezing time capsule thing.
Yep.
And
Right.
it's not till episode 10 of season 4. It's last season on Fox, which is the Why of Fry, where you learn that the brains can't attack him because he's retarded his own brain. That is what actually happened in it, and it's pretty that just blew my mind when I saw that episode from season 4. I had to go back to season 1 and watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess in the original, a lot of people, there was this big skepticism over the internet of like, that was added in for the DVDs. It was never part of the original aired show. And it totally was. Like, people went back, they had old VHS recordings of the show and went back to watch it and research it. It was always in there. And apparently in that first episode, there's a bunch of things that were always intended to come up again, like in future seasons as the show is going to keep going on. They intentionally just like packed it full of all this stuff. So it was always there from the beginning. I thought that was super cool.
I think that's one of the first times you and I discussed Futurama. You brought that up, which I had never noticed before either, because we've discussed Futurama several times, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
It's kind of like him and I with Dragon Ball.
What's that?
Just discussed it several times.
Yeah.
And
Before
then you get
there-
on to a microphone and just discuss it.
And now we talk about it again, right? It's Futurama is, I don't know, it's so good. It really is. I've fallen in love with it all over again. I really have.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish them all, and I will probably go back now and pick new favorites. That some of them are ones that weren't my original favorites, like the one where Zoidberg goes through his like crazy phase where he has to like mate.
Oh, right. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like
The weirdo.
I
Like,
never
first
really.
I got up, then I had a piece of toast.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Fry's like, just nod. You want to hear her story? And he's like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. And it totally works for him.
By the way, if you ask me how my day is, I will not tell you what I had for breakfast.
You don't
Dudes
start
how
there.
your day.
there. Like,
You don't. What if what you had for breakfast was the highlight of your day?
she had a piece of toast.
That's
First
true.
I got up, then I had a piece of toast. That's not. It's not how it really works. Unless you're maybe like a weird crustacean from an alien planet. I don't know.
Maybe, right? They were clearly off on their whole mating ritual compared to
And then
at least what Fry considered, right?
And then they died. So
yeah. Zoidberg lucked out in that one. Yes. But I do like how Zoidberg's always scraping for anything and everything,
yeah.
right? Like he will take anything you will give him. Yeah. When they sell the company and he thinks he's the most valuable person because he has the sandwich,
Oh yeah.
trades all his stock for a sandwich to the 80s business guy with bonitis. That's a really good episode too.
Could ask you guys. So, since we just talked about that Zoidberg episode, what would you guys do?
What do you mean?
Well, like you can mate once and then die, or you can live forever and be celibate.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I totally die.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that curiosity and hormones would get the best of me at some point.
Yeah.
But I might try to ride out this living thing as long as I can.
Tried
Okay.
that. Doesn't work.
Yeah, it depends on how hot she is.
How about you over there in the
How?
corner?
I'd go
Little
like
teenager.
maybe like 30 years.
30. So
Yeah.
okay.
And then just die.
die.
Maybe not even mate. Who knows?
Just don't even mate.
Yeah.
Just be the only one that just dies on your own.
Screw the system. I'm going my own way.
You're
Or
screwing
don't
yourself.
screw
He
the
could be the
system.
king,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that what happened? Like the dude was a king because he was celibate. Like
Is that
the
what it
one-
was?
I thought. Well, there's like a guy like overwatching like the battle royale, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that could be you, Jack.
Oh, I am.
Caesar.
I do have the king hat, so yeah.
You got the
And it's called
Jughead
the
hat.
Jughead hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomato. Wait,
Far
okay,
from
so
the king.
it's only when you mate with the other crab people. So wait, what if you mated with like every other species?
He
Boom.
does. Have you not seen the?
Well, I mean the
final
last
episode?
one where with the nose lady.
Yeah.
The nose
like-
lady.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't really
She's
remember her
covered
name.
in noses.
Well, and they're all like
Emily Blunt
excited to
voiced
watch
her.
them mate. And there's even the people like the pervs that are on the beach that are like all excited
yeah.
to watch everybody mate, and they just like go and they're all stoked to see it. They all go out in the water and this like cesspool of sex stuff comes up, and they all just kind of go,
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Sex stuff.
yeah, whatever their alien sex stuff is, however they play their game, whatever. As long as you're in it to win, I guess.
What else is on your list here, Marcus? Are we done to the?
Yeah, we're kind of coming down to the end of my super highlights that I came away with from it. Other than that, I've put it on the back burner for so long, and doing this is like totally reinvigorated this whole awesomeness for Futurama for me. It really has, and I'm amazed at how relevant it has maintained when it's as old as it is.
So you got the. Sorry. Yes, that is very true.
Yes, thank
What
you.
does that
Thank you
say
for
about our
acknowledging my
society,
statement.
guys? I don't know.
Yeah,
what's
right.
Have you seen Idiocracy?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no. So I got a question. So you watched it all on the DVDs, right? So
All of
yeah.
them?
Well,
Yeah.
All the way through the final. You watched them on DVD.
I have before. I have
Okay.
not seen the last
So
season yet.
the four you
Again.
have, do they have like an autoplay feature, or do you still have to play? You just select each one to play.
So that comes in at season 4, maybe it's 3, but that's not in the first couple seasons. You have to pick each individual one.
Because that's what I've been doing with the box set. 'Cause I got the box set, and it's each one. It's like, okay, exit, select next, play.
So I also
Such
think,
a pain in the rear.
yeah, the
It's
other thing that's a
the
menu
rear.
bonus for like season 4 and beyond is they quit looping the audio track. So it like only plays, maybe it's like 3 times or something, and then it quits. So if you leave it on the menu screen, you don't have to hear the like little computer
So,
bleeps and sounds
I
over
know
and
what
over.
you did. Is you passed out watching it in the bedroom.
What?
You appreciate that because you passed out watching it in the bedroom.
Oh, a couple times, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. A couple times. That's where I do a lot of my watching and
Yes,
passing
and
out.
so is it you that appreciate it? Or
Not all of
Kristen?
it, but
No
a lot.
wonder Marcus would be. Oh wait, no, you said. Yeah, you said you'd be celibate, wouldn't you? You'd live forever.
No.
You did.
I would,
No wonder
I-
Marcus.
what?
Let me just say my joke. No wonder Marcus would be celibate forever.
because I fall asleep.
That's where you do most of your watching, is in the bedroom where you watch.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do. That's where I do most of my TV watching. As far as TV goes, it's not where I spend most of my time in front of the TV, but it's where I watch the most TV.
Okay.
TV shows. Yeah.
That's really silly. Futurama has consistently been like it's been one of my like because I can't fall asleep without TV or noise or whatever. So
Well, I'm not the only one apparently.
no,
I should know quite a few people that way.
I am also single and unmarried. So
Oh, just imagine the day when you're not and you get to fall asleep with somebody next to you.
I can't wait. Fry did it, can't I?
Fellas.
No, so it's been like a constant in my life for a long time because it's really easy for me because I know it's so many of them. I've heard them so many times before, and Netflix had them forever. So I could start through season 1. I remember I was watching it during like getting the poll results from the the presidency that I was like watching Futurama, and I told a friend, I'm like, I'm watching Futurama because it's way better than Today-O-Rama. Like,
Yeah, right.
so it's just something that I've always been able to go back to as a constant. I think.
Wow.
It's just, yeah.
I kept watching V for Vendetta. That's the one that I kept falling
Well,
asleep
that's
to.
appropriate too. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm only so on that one.
I love that show, or that movie, actually.
It's no Futurama.
The comic is
It's not
way
Futurama.
better.
Is it?
I'll let
I've
yeah,
not
I'll let
seen-
you borrow it. I have it.
Alright.
It's pretty dope.
I'll take you
Dope.
up on that.
I
What
thought
do you?
that-
I said I'll take you up on that.
And then Marcus said,
So, do you have any final thoughts on Futurama, Jack? What do you say to the younger generation out there?
Futurama is really good.
I
Have
haven't
you
Precious
seen all?
time.
Have you seen all 7 seasons?
Yeah, no, like I think I've watched it 2-3 times, like in completion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like I remember I watched it first with my sister, then I just watched it again because it's really good. Like no matter what age you are, you always find, cool stuff about it, and then you always have those favorite episodes that you keep wanting to go back to.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you have to devote, like 500 hours to, like a long continuous show because all the episodes are mostly self-contained.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
they
it's,
can call back, but they stand on their own.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's just
There is progressive references though that go through the whole thing though.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not as much. So it's really something that you can just chill out to anytime and just watch some Futurama
Yeah.
with anyone, right? Be like, oh, let's just watch this episode. They might not get some of it, but at least it's funny.
Every episode stands on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. And they're very topical. Is that the right word?
Tropical
For the
you
time,
mean?
but again, it
He does
translates
not
so
mean
well.
tropical, Jack.
Although
Very
I did
topical.
think,
You just play it like this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's great.
when I
It's
watch it, I
appropriate
sit
to the
there with the
time.
box sets and do this. Which, if I have to make a one comment about the box sets, if you can get the box sets for seasons 1 and 4, the original releases, they're so much cooler than the. I'm assuming the one because you watched it in the big box set, the new one you can get, right? I'm assuming they're like the new ones, and they come in the like thinner sleeve that like trifolds, and they're little paper sleeves they go in,
Yes.
right? Like the ones that I have are each one is in its own little thin DVD case where the disc itself
Pops
is
into it.
is the first part of like this little comic strip scene. You pop it out and there's like the second like reaction to that scene on there. They all go together and make one big image. They all like double case slide in with again the like reaction case underneath, and
Oh,
like,
nice.
they're like really really cool sets, and I don't know how much they are, if you can even find them anymore, but they're really worth pursuing. I will never get rid of those. They're super cool. Even if I buy that full set that has everything condensed, I'm still going to keep those original for it. They're super awesome.
Yeah, I'm waiting for another Amazon sale to get the complete box set again.
Yeah. And I wonder if in that, do you get the movies? Or is that
think
still
you do.
considered
No.
a
You
separate
You get the movies.
entity?
I'm sure you do.
All right. I was wondering.
Netflix doesn't have them anymore, but
No.
all right. Are you
That's 'cause
trying
they
to
were
wrap
Fox.
this up? Is that what we're happening?
Yeah.
No.
Because I have some
Lay-
good. I have
no,
some
you
Say
should
what
trivia
you're gonna
here.
say.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you can ask us trivia.
Yeah, I looked
Oh,
at
God,
trivia
on the
stuff.
spot.
No,
Could be awesome.
Yeah.
so I kind of took a look through them, so I'm gonna try it, not on purpose, but just see.
Oh, so you
there's-
don't know the answers either,
No, I don't. But
except for
it's-
some of them.
Well, just because I'm
The ones
brilliant
she's gonna
and
get
amazing. No, but I never actually gave up on the quiz or anything. So some of them are really easy. I'll just throw out some out there. Let's see.
You too can play at home.
What is the name of Professor Farnsworth Nemesis?
No, I know his name. Wernstrom.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Wernstrom.
Let's see. How about I didn't know this one.
Bernstrom. Yeah.
Who is Hermes' arch rival?
Oh, it's
Barbados Slim.
Okay. See, I
Do
didn't.
it.
Nice.
Wait a minute. Was Professor Farnsworth, was he the scary doctor in Nightmare Before Christmas?
I
I don't
The guy
know.
with the brain.
I
or-
kind of doubt
I don't know.
You're the
Look it up.
intern.
Yeah,
You
you're
look
the
it
Yeah,
up.
you
intern.
Google
Look
it.
it up.
I'll
Google
look it up.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh,
Okay.
also from way earlier, that game, it's like you build your city and then you like fight enemies. So it's
The
Probably
probably
game
a
we
new
don't
one.
even care about.
Yeah.
Look up the other thing.
well,
Look up the Nightmare
Yeah,
Before
yeah, yeah.
Christmas.
for resolution.
Back to the trivia. I'm doing
Okay.
good here. Come on.
Let's see.
How many times does Fry get laid? A lot.
Who is a large masculine robot daughter of the farmer on the moon?
Oh,
I cannot
no.
remember.
Crusherella? No, something.
We'll have to come back to.
What's her name?
Uh,
I think it was like a
No,
regular name, right? Like Susie or something.
No. It was
Because Fry even like
the
he
giant
sleeps
pink-
with her, or
No, it wasn't
Bender
Fry, it
does
was
whatever,
Bender.
and Fry's like, oh, it wasn't what's her face. And he's like, no,
What
a
was
woman
your-
like that needs to be romance.
exactly.
Yeah.
What was your first guess, Marcus?
It's like Crusher something, Crusherella or
No.
the Crushinator.
There you go. Good
Yes,
job,
I knew it was
Marcus.
Crush
Yes.
something.
I like it.
I was going too feminine.
Yeah, really. Some of them we've already covered. It's funny. Like, what did the 80s guy die from?
Bonitis.
Right, it's just
Yeah.
funny that we were just, you know.
Forgot to cure my bonitis. I was so busy being an 80s guy. And it's a
So
brutal death. He just gets crunched
Okay,
and
let's hear
contorted.
it.
Farnsworth is voiced by Billy West.
Yep,
Thank you.
I knew that.
Oh wait, is that the guy that does Fry too?
He does
He does
Fry,
many.
Zoidberg, Brannigan. He does a lot of main characters
wow.
plus a
Yeah.
ton,
All right, so get to
a
it.
ton of side characters.
And Dr. Finkelstein from Nightmare Before Christmas is
Okay.
voiced by. I just had it.
Is it Billy West? If it's not
No.
Oh,
that,
that's
then
what
we
you're
don't
trying to
care.
ask if the actor was
William
the same.
Hickey.
You were not at all close,
So
Jack.
thank you for
I know.
interrupting the
I was-
show with
For
your
nothing.
non-relatable
Welcome.
fact.
Well, there's some facts.
Back to
for
your corner,
trivia.
intern.
Oh, that's sad. It's kind of funny because we covered several of these. Okay, according to Kif, Amy is his.
Smearmar, Mizmar,
What was
something like that. Miramar, Mizmar, Smearmar, Mijmar, something.
getting
I'm
so
so
close.
close, right? Something Mar. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I'm really close.
All right, anyone at home? Here's your last chance. It's Smizmar.
Smizmar.
Really
Come on,
close.
I was so close.
Yeah, you idiot. Anyone can remember that.
Most,
Thanks, intern. Thanks for chiming in. With
most
the
videotapes on Earth were destroyed in the year 2443 during the. I didn't know this one.
Wasn't like a crusade or something. I don't remember.
I mean,
I don't know. Something uprising.
second coming of Jesus.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That makes total sense. I should. That seems like a go-to answer.
It's always Jesus.
That's also Goku and Chi-Chi's next son is Goku.
Go to.
Yeah, that's gonna be his
You be
name.
quiet. you get banished at the corner now.
So, after being infested with microscopic worms from an old egg salad sandwich, Fry becomes an expert at playing which instrument? I could picture it. I know what it did. I could not come up with a name.
Oh yeah, the holophone or the it's the holographic like
Sousaphone.
clarinet.
Right.
It's the something phone. The is hollow in it? Mm-hmm. Hollow.
I don't remember. I remember the episode, but I don't remember what.
Right, and like he dinks around with it in several episodes. Which
Well,
is
yeah, and he
also
gets like
cool.
the devil's hands, and he can like super
Yeah,
play. it,
Right.
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's times where
Uh,
he does like the really cute,
Robot devil
terrible
hands.
ones. But yeah, robot devil. Yes, not the human devil.
The something phone. I can't remember. What is it? Tell me.
Holophoner.
Holophoner.
Like you
I was
said
so
it
close.
separately.
Holophone.
That's pretty funny.
So close.
Uh,
These wouldn't count in trivia though, because we lose on answers like this.
Okay, one more. Let's see.
I like this.
Okay. People all. So this Fry says this. People always said I was stupid, but I.
Oh,
People, what is it now?
People always said I was stupid, but I. I mean.
Proved him right? I don't know.
Right, it's proved them.
Proved that.
Yeah, you guys were all like, it's totally where he's getting at. It's pretty funny. You know, I looked at it, it was kind of fun. Because there's like easy ones. Like, what is Fry's first name?
Philip. What's,
Right,
what's
so-
his middle name? That should be the real trivia question. They say it in one episode, and I can't remember.
It's probably just J, just like Homer.
James.
Is
Is
it
it
actually
James?
James?
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
'Cause
Look it up,
Homer's-
intern. What's
Homer's
Fry's middle name?
is also just the initial J. Like,
Yeah.
It's not the
Philip
word,
J.
not
Fry.
just J-A-Y. It's just
no,
like just J.
Homer's. I'm almost positive. I remember seeing the episode. It's just the letter J for Homer.
I think in one episode of Futurama, they tell you what Fry's middle name is. And I remember taking note of like, that's his middle name? But I can't remember now. I might be totally wrong.
You could be
Probably
I don't know.
lying to everybody again. It's
I don't know,
something
you
I
could
do.
be. I just thought it's just funny. So I was like, oh, those are so easy. And I wonder if everyone knows them. Like the janitor's name.
Scruffy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes!
It's I think it's J, like J-A-Y.
It is just J?
Yeah.
Fry's is.
J is a middle name. Initial groaning seems to graining or whatever. Like to give his characters, to my knowledge, it's never
Or
revealed.
whatever, that guy.
Screw
him.
It says, to my knowledge, it is never revealed what name it initials for Fry, but in the case of Homer J. Simpson, it's J. So
I swear there was an episode. I'll have to check.
they speculate.
There's
Maybe
also
later
one
down
other
there.
last thing I did. I can't
Do
show
it.
you guys at home, but there's the Alienese
Yeah.
because there's a couple languages of it, and so I wrote our stuff in Alienese.
What do you
Some
mean
of
our
them.
stuff?
Oh wow, it's an actual language.
Yeah, they have several. This one's easy. It's just like the replacing of a symbol with a letter.
What is our stuff? What do you mean? Like
Well,
this
like
says our stuff,
Do you know what? Like, what would you? I don't know. I wrote a couple things here.
and we're supposed to try to decipher
I mean,
the
you
alien
could try
code.
guessing if you want. I
Should we
could
go like
tell
this?
you.
Can people see? Is that close
No,
enough?
like,
There's
I mean-
no way to
There's
decipher
no
that.
way. If you can't see that.
That's
I
what-
mean, I see Futurama.
they
but-
have several.
This
right,
one's
'cause
2
these were my
words.
notes. Well, this is 2 separate. That's what I mean. I wasn't expecting you to guess it. So there's the
Oh.
easy Alienese, which is just a symbol replacing a letter, and then there's a more complicated one, and I'm not good at cryptography. So I can, but that was
Better than
something
me.
something that he inserted in there from the beginning that people could see in the background, and he said it was up to like devoted fans to figure out what it meant.
All right, you gonna tell us what you wrote?
This is my name here.
Oh, nice. Did you write our names too?
Yeah, I did. This is Marcus
Ah.
and Jeremiah, and that's
Oh, we're together,
Nerdbuzzed.
buddy. There's a slight space between us, but we're together.
Nice.
That's Nerdbuzzed
I
down
came
there.
first, just so you know.
That's beer.
Nice, I
So,
like
yeah,
it.
I mean, it's real easy. It's kind of funny. It's like back to
like
doing
it.
Egypt.
I like that you
stuff.
broke the code.
Yeah, well, I totally
go
did
with it,
it
Emily.
on my
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
I didn't look it up online
No.
or anything, guys.
What's that? Google what?
No, it's super easy.
That's like the
If you
Futhark.
want to do it, it's kind of
Yeah.
fun if you just wrote this way. Like maybe
Yeah.
I should just integrate this in my everyday life.
Nice.
I
Somebody,
do that with video
every
games
movement starts with
sometimes.
one person.
Yeah.
I say like the runetic alphabet.
How does it
Elder
break down?
Futhark, the younger Futhark.
I don't know.
I don't know what's
You
going
lost
on
me.
that side of the table, but I
Anyway.
wrote these cool
It's-
alienese words
the-
here, folks at home.
I
Yeah.
was say it's the Scandinavian rune alphabet.
Huh.
Like the Viking
Yeah.
lettering, so whatever. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
There's only 16 for that.
Go to your second page.
Yeah,
of
let's
notes,
go real
Marcus.
quick because we're super running long. We like to do that.
Yeah, we
Basically,
unfortunately.
we're summing it up as we're not going to review Futurama, right?
We're summoning up.
Do we put a score? Yeah, we're
Whatever.
summoning up
That's
it.
what you said.
That's an RPG. That's the
I
nerd
know,
in
but
me.
you're summing up.
Yeah, we're summoning.
Just summon the
summoning.
box set of Futurama and throw it at your enemies.
That'd be horrifying.
Or make
when
them
someone
watch
Summoning
came
up.
For some
Cinnamon. Do we want to put a score on Futurama?
I don't know.
Like, is that something we should do?
I think that's the unicorn.
Is it a unicorn
I think it is.
for American animation? Is that a unicorn? Wow.
But then you'll never watch
More
it.
so
You'll
than The
never watch
Simpsons.
anything else.
Yeah,
There's no
right. That's
point.
it. Binge watch forever now.
That's it.
Show,
Don't need to watch another.
podcast over.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Don't need to
That's
watch
it.
another American
Thank you.
animation.
We quit. Jack's fired. I did want to mention real quick because I thought when you brought this up as a topic, it was worth noting. It was very coincidental that Matt Groening has already been signed up to do a show called Disenchantment, which is with Netflix. He gets 20 episodes spanning
It's
over
disenchantment.
Disenchantment
Disenchantment.
Disenchantment.
and Disenchantment.
Yeah, you
There you
Chanton
go.
Mint.
You got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enchantment.
So it's going to span over two 10-episode seasons. The beer's kicking in, which will premiere sometime in 2018. It's set in a crumbling medieval kingdom called Dreamland, and it follows the misadventures of the hard-drinking Princess Bean and her cohorts that go with her. And I thought it was worth noting that Bean is voiced by Abby Jacobson, who is from the show Broad City. If you have not seen
Is she
Broad
the
City,
weirder one with the curly hair?
no.
The other one, the
Yeah,
straight hair.
they're both
Okay.
really weird.
Well, right.
Let's just be honest.
But the
I've
other one
not
wore, like,
seen
a
Broad
shirt,
City,
like
so
a weird thing backwards, and like oh no, it was a dog sweater that she wore. That's what. It's not the one that wore the dog sweater with
No,
like a
like she wears
a
ridiculous
leash
clothes,
hole. Okay,
right?
not her.
Never actually does anything productive ever, right?
Right, no.
Abby's the one that tries to be
Abby's
a good
like
person.
the person that works.
She
the gym
fails
or
miserably
something.
at it all the time. Yeah, she wants
Okay.
to be the trainer.
Okay.
But she's
got
not,
it.
right? Anyway, Broad City's amazing. People
Okay.
should totally check it out. It's like this. I've said several times on the show, I'm not the biggest fan of like the female lead stuff, and I've totally come around since we've done the show. But this
that's
was
a
one of
terrible thing
those.
to say,
It is a
Marcus.
terrible thing, but it just whatever. I get my own preference, right? And
Yeah,
it's
what?
it's not what I would typically lean towards, right? But Broad City was one of those shows where I was like, this show is awesome. It was really, really funny. It was one of the shows. The reason why I got into it is because Hulu does this really awesome thing where if you finish a season, it's like, hey, here's a random ass show that's kind of related to your
Right.
season, and let's start out at season 7, episode 12. Why not? right? And that's what Hulu does.
Right, because they don't have all the seasons on Hulu, right? Normally.
It doesn't matter what the show is. It never starts at season 1, episode 1.
Really?
It's always
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's available.
here's a random show. Yeah, it doesn't
that's
ever do
really
that.
funny.
And so it did that to us with, I don't remember what we were watching, but Hulu kept suggesting, watch Broad City, season 3, episode 12, right? Or whatever. We're like, oh my God, what is this just ridiculous show? Nothing makes sense. And so we eventually, me and Kristen started it from the beginning. It's amazing. I really enjoyed it. We've seen it through a couple times now. It's really, really good. Check it out. But anyway, Abby's on there. She's going to be the main voice in it.
Nice.
So I'm stoked to check that out, especially after learning everything I've learned about Matt Groening. New respect.
Cool.
Yeah,
So I guess that brings us to our beer. Do we want to mention our new anime?
Sure. Let's do it.
The anime classic Scooby-Doo.
I will break your
It's an
computer.
anime. Scooby-Doo is an anime.
I don't know, Scoob.
Yeah.
Raggy.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I mean,
Zoink, Scoob.
Futurama did a little thing that was one of my favorite ones,
no.
where they did like Saturday Fun Show, where they spoofed Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
Nice.
It's one of my favorites.
That's what makes
so,
it an anime.
That's what.
If you spoof Scooby-Doo, you're considered an anime.
No, what's
Or
the
if you
line?
are
just call
Scooby-Doo, that's
Scooby-Doo anime?
the exception.
What?
You and everybody at home is making that same face. No, we just chose.
professor's noise.
We usually pick an anime, and we chose Futurama. I don't know how many people have been cursing me other than these
That's
two
what I'm
people
just
right
wondering
here.
What constitutes an anime?
We don't really know.
Not
other
Futurama.
Than, yeah,
It has
Or
to be. It has to
Scooby-Doo.
be Japanese.
Japanese
I think it's
produced
That's what it is.
I think that's
animation.
it. It's a cartoon that's Japanese produced. I think that's it. But the one we're gonna watch, and we're gonna go back to Japanese produced now. Right?
Okay.
I'm gonna call it an anime because I think that's what it is. You correct me if I'm wrong. But we're gonna watch Psycho Pass.
Okay.
Right? Recommended by Jack, the
Yeah.
intern in the corner.
Uh,
Right? Yeah, give him a little bit of
That's
credit.
me.
That's what he needs.
yeah, no, it's pretty good. So we'll,
Get your
we'll
finger
watch
off the
it.
hotkey.
And you're gonna watch it again.
Hot,
right?
Hockey, you say?
Hockey. Take your key off the hockey pad.
Yeah. Figure out the hotkey A. The hotkey should always be A, by
Yeah.
the way. For our brothers to the north. So let's we're gonna watch Psycho Pass.
You know how they spell
keep playing
the
Metal
country,
Gear
don't you?
Solid. How they spell A?
You know how they come up with the spelling of the country, don't you?
No.
C-A.
C-A. Nice. Nice.
D-A. N-A.
Yeah. A. A hoser. So what do we think of our beers? Let's wrap it up.
I think this beer's freaking awesome.
It doesn't
good.
super taste like alcohol.
That's good.
I thought I got a hint of it, but it did
Yeah,
not
that's what you
follow
thought
through.
by the end. How's your breath, Marcus? That's what you were worried about.
What do you think? Does it
Smelled
smell like beer?
breath. No, I didn't even smell anything. It smelled like the air just going by me.
Is that
really
because
fast.
you're also breathing in your own as fast
No,
as you're
because
breathing
I wasn't even
mine?
expecting you to breathe on my face.
Okay, nice.
I was like swallowing my beer at the
Full
time.
of surprises. We're gonna
No,
do an
it's-
episode after this and it'll be really good. I can tell.
I think it will be, yeah. No, the hops stay very present. They actually come out a little bit more. They get a little tangier. The grassy and citrusy notes come out really strong. The bitterness at the end, the bitterness bite that it had when you first started, is not there. The malt body, just like they always seem to do, grows a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that for sure.
But it doesn't really come overpoweringly sweet. It just stays just a little fuller there.
It has a little bit of that alcohol taste.
It does in the aftertaste. It kind of lingers after everything else has
Little
kind of
bit,
gone
yeah.
away. The alcohol still lingers a little bit, but it's still really good. It just encourages you to take another sip, which is never a
Right?
bad
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I can't. You're drinking alcohol. Like I can't. You
Well,
expect
some
to
of them are
taste like alcohol
terrible
to
where
me.
it's like, this is like vodka beer. Like it tastes like alcohol by the time it gets warm. And I think it's something that's been happening more as, especially with IPAs, as the goal they're trying to achieve is the highest alcohol content they can get. And I'm thinking in some of
Yeah,
them,
like
they're doing it quickly is the problem, right? Like they're not letting that alcohol happen more naturally, and so they're like expediting it in some sort of a way that maybe cheapens the flavor of it. I don't know.
well, with a lot of them, and I think what they're doing, specifically with your space dust, I think they're adding some other form of sugar in.
Like corn syrup.
This did not taste. It did not taste bad. The second can that I had that had been sitting out, it didn't taste.
No,
No.
it doesn't
like-
taste
yeah.
bad at all.
I
Like,
think
mean,
the
it's still
flavors
kinda
definitely
chili.
change, but they remain balanced, which is
Yeah,
nice.
It's really balanced.
Yeah.
It's carrying itself really well.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
It's really easy drinking.
Yeah,
I think it's
Obviously, I mean, come on, these boys with their like half full glasses. I
but
don't
this is
know.
my second can.
It's
my
my second
third
can,
can.
too.
Oh, okay.
Marcus,
Sorry.
haha. Marcus trying to be.
Sorry,
Big.
I ruled at trivia.
Jeremiah.
what?
I said you were on your third can, but
Oh yeah, I'm more.
Marcus tried to like.
I gotta go lose a can. Let's put a score on this bad boy.
Okay,
What do you think?
I am going to give it an 8.
So beer fridge worthy.
It is beer fridge worthy.
I agree that it's totally beer fridge worthy. I would totally drink this on a GTA Tuesday. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 though. I think it's really good, but there's a lot of subtleties going on, and some of them I disagree with.
You do that.
Okay, I'm
It's
gonna.
an 8.
I'm gonna. Okay.
I'm on Marcus's same score, 7.5.
All right.
Nice.
That's
That was
the
good.
best high five ever, guys.
You just saw it. Yeah, you should have, intern.
Jack, how did
Stay in
you feel
your
about
corner.
watching us drink it? Like, how would you
Yeah.
grade like our like experience?
How would I
drinking
grade watching you guys?
it? Yeah, it must be rough. You're 19.
I'm 18.
18.
Let's see.
Shoot.
Wait, like grade the episode
Even
or
rougher.
grade? Wait, what am I grading?
Just like how enjoyable
was your
did it look
experience
to
with us drinking it?
Yeah.
I
Compared to
mean,
like other
in a room
beers
full
you
of
watch.
people-
Anyway,
been drinking
to all the
coffee.
nerds,
a 3 out of 10.
Hey, that's pretty
Thanks.
damn good for somebody who's not drinking.
through all the fuzz,
Bottoms up.
let's get
nerd
buzzed.
Drink my last
Nice.
mouthful.
Thanks for joining us, Emily.
Talking about beer. Talking
boy.
about
You're still
nerd
my favorite of my wife's friends.
You're
That's good.
on
Number one wife's friend.
I'm pretty awesome. For dudes, I mean.
Marcus and Jeremiah.
Like a good
Fellas.
You're on Nerdbuzzed.
Jack, come take a picture of us.
Yeah.
No, I want to be in the corner.
Let's get Nerdbuzzed.
Well,
He's still finishing his job.